And people listen to this guy. Let's run that back.
And these political cycles.
Yeah.
And you have experiences that I don't even know they exist.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't live through Lincoln, but I know about it.
Sure. My point is, my experience...
He said, I'm about to die laughing here. He said, sure. What? So for whatever reason, it feels like this is a constant reminder of what just happened, 6, 7, 8 months ago, because people have a short-term memory. But when it comes to the past election, just last year, Dems lost because of lukewarmness, because of lukewarm policies, because they didn't want to move beyond the status quo. And with that happening, a lot of, normally Democratic voters didn't show up. So, and that's by the numbers, by the data. So once again, when we're having this conversation of why Democrats lost, and when I hear dumb people talk about wokeness, that is a sign that this conversation is going to go so far up stupidity's behind, you're going to get lost. Because as soon as somebody mentions wokeness as a reason, nothing else matters at that point. And when it comes to Republicans, their strategy was really simple. They didn't really cling on to no policies that actually affected the everyday person. Really what they did was scapegoated immigrants, black folks with DEI, and immigrants are just here to kill everybody and take over the country, and trans and gay people as, hey, guess what? These people are going to trans your kids. They're going to take over all the sports throughout the entire world. Like, they use that type of propaganda. They use that type of rhetoric that will emotionally get people hooked. And that's all they did. Very few policy conversations Trump people had, because none of that matters. So when it comes to Republicans making marginal issues, like if there is a trans individual playing the sport and it is controversial, they will take a moment like that and make this the new COVID. They would make this a new, pandemic that everybody needs to drop what they're doing and focus on this subject here. And Republicans did that very well. They, even though it's hateful conversation, they knew how to lock in people. They knew how to feed their base. And what we're going to get into with this interview with Bill Maher, I almost said Bill Burr, but Bill Maher and Tim Pool. And once again, this is an hour, 30-minute conversation. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Go ahead. You guys know who Bill Maher is. If you want to, bang your head on the wall while listening to this, go ahead and do that. But this segment right here is a very interesting conversation between the two. So once again, I apologize if I sound like this. My nose and my allergies is killing me right now. So, but let's go ahead and take a watch.
And so does my neighborhood. I think it's interesting to see my neighborhood reflective of my politics and vice versa.
I think the phrase I was using last year was aggressively non-common sense or uncommonsensical. And it's like I accent aggressively. I don't think the woke people who have the vast amount of energy really in the Democratic Party understand why the people vote against them. And it's like, because if you add up like how many people are really affected by some of the aggressively uncommon sense things, it's probably not that many.
You had a great bit on that.
Yeah.
Why are you pandering to 400 people?
Of course. Okay. But
so once again, like when you're a politician, you need to have a broad enough policies, or a broad enough reach to where you're reaching majority of Americans. And fortunately, trans people, gay people, black people, people of color, immigrants, these are all people you need to at least try to reach. So yeah, some people pander, but essentially you're a politician, so what you're supposed to do is have messaging to reach these types of people, obviously. So call it pandering, whatever you want. But he's making a point like, why are you pandering to 400 people? Which is funny, but we're going to get to that. Because, like I said at the top of this video, Republicans decided to scapegoat marginalized people, a small group of people, to use as red meats for their base to put all the blame of all your issues. Hey, you having car issues? It's trans people. You can't find a good quality job? It's black people. Schools are not teaching your kids, to a higher degree that they're supposed to. Blame it on the immigrants. That's all that they did. So with Democrats, which that's a whole nother conversation we can get into, their messaging didn't meet the requirements to combat what the Republicans were saying. So Democrats were essentially on defense all the time. So, of course, once again, if a party is attacking a group of people, I would hope the other party would try to defend. But once again, if that's all you're doing, and you have people like Bill Maher saying, hey, you're pandering to these people, well, that puts you in an awkward position, because somebody has to stand up. Somebody has to speak for these marginalized people. If Republicans is blaming DEI, which is a code word for black folks, we need a party that will represent us, that will protect us, that will fight for us, obviously. So they're doing this weird, Democrats were just pandering to 400 people. Well, unfortunately, we have a party that is capitalizing off of those 400 people, which are Americans. These are American citizens. And we have a political party using those people as scapegoats. So, come on, let's go.
But when you add up these things and, men competing in women's sports and just too much indoctrination of children with sexual ideas that they're too young to understand. Like when you add up all these things that get in the media a lot, it paints a picture, not a wrong picture, in the mind of the average voter that, yeah, maybe policy-wise I would do better under the Democrats or Bernie Sanders, but these other people just seem fucking crazy. They seem like committed to just going to absurd lengths just for shits and giggles, just for the fuck of it, just this bizarre attachment to things that are just ridiculous.
I think it's to hate the other side.
It is.
Yeah.
And to hate the other side. That is your argument. That is your summary. That is your conclusion on why Democrats, according to you, are pandering to a small group of people, which is true. Trans people make up less than 1% of Americans. It's not 400 people, but it's a small amount of people. But you're telling me Democrats are the ones fixated on these Americans. Let me show you just real quick. This is Joe Rogan and Matt Walsh. And once again, when Republicans want to take a marginal group of people and magnify whatever story that they found, because I mean, America consists of over 300 million people. So you're going to find something that happens within America. They're going to take one or two stories, make this into some sort of America pandemic, and they're going to cling on it. And here is a perfect example of, if you look at the numbers, we can tell you're lying. So once again, I apologize if I sound like this, but let's take a listen.
Are you talking about hormone blockers?
Yeah.
Millions of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah, that would be my guess.
We're into the millions. To get to the millions, you need to get past, the few dozens. Then you get to the few hundreds. Then you get to the few thousands. Then you get to the few hundreds of thousands. And then you get to the millions. So you're telling me you guess that we're into the millions. So we had gradually, as a society, got to this place. That's what you're telling me statistically, okay? Watch what happens.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
It says it's kind of undercounted, but that
would be a big
less than
undercounting.
1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess, hundreds of thousands at this, but I could be wrong.
Million sounds great.
Yeah.
Hey, millions sound great.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Media Matters will have fun with that clip.
Hey, and we are, till this day, this was 2 years ago, and trust me, we are having fun. So when it comes to Republicans taking something like this and making this their forefront issue, what are Democrats supposed to do? And then we have people like Bill Maher who have no idea of what's going on. He's been in politics how long? He has no idea what's going on. And then he wants to blame Democrats for being so fixated on this group of people when that's their job, is to represent these people.
Fucking crazy. They seem like committed to just going to absurd lengths just for shits and giggles, just for the fuck of it, just this bizarre attachment to things that are just ridiculous.
I think it's to hate the other side.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's certainly what the other side does. They call it making you cry your liberal tears.
Oh, yeah.
The entire.
So once again, how is speaking up against a party targeting a group of Americans trolling? How is that? Make that make sense. No. And unfortunately, just because you guys may not care about gay people, trans people, black people, immigrants, illegal, legal, somewhere in between, got visas, got some visas, whatever the case is, just because you do not care about them doesn't mean that other people can't. That's simple. But no, leave it to, I guess he's a liberal, maybe kind of, sort of, I don't know. No one knows at this point. Whatever makes the most money, that's what he's going to be. That is wrong. That is a lie. At the least, he is misinformed. But leave it to Bill Maher. Okay, gotcha.
Policy, well, not always now. There are some things that have different motivations. I know you're involved with the tariff debate.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that works both ways. Sometimes free trade does hurt people.
Yep.
And that's why there are tariff. Trump is not the first person to advocate tariffs. He's just the first person to do it in this kind of crazy, haphazard way.
Right, I agree. And I think that, when he announced selective tariffs, I was like, all right, let's go. Then when he announced universal tariffs, I was like, I don't know if that makes sense. What is he doing? And I'm I think one of the problems that we've seen over the past several years with Trump is the immediate assumption that that he's a crazy person all the time. And so the only thing I can say is, well, look, I vote for the guy. I think this is probably doesn't make sense to me, but I'll see what happens, and we'll see if it makes sense. Select.
Where? What type of reality do you live in when your core understanding or just living throughout something is, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but hey, let's just see what happens, right? What? Do you not understand this person has so much power, which he's not supposed to, but unfortunately, when people don't care about the Constitution, this is what happens. They will destroy people's lives. The incompetence, the ignorance, the hate, the whatever you want to call it, that has the opportunity to destroy people's lives. So I don't think most Americans have the option to just say, F it, let's just see what happens. Hey, let's just put 400% tariffs on every single country and let's just see what happens. Really? That's your final answer. Got you.
Tariffs, I think, do make sense. But I do think that the way the Democratic Party has handled opposition has guaranteed the kind of Trumpian politics.
Well, I'm sure you heard about my little trip to the White House.
Absolutely.
Hey, nobody cares about your trip. You just went there to kiss butt, and that was it. You follow suit behind a lot of people. So this is not just you. This is a lot of people who know what to do to keep their money, to protect their reputation or not get attacked. So we kind of understand. So in this part, in this interesting conversation, it's almost like when you try to be too smart, when you try to outsmart every single, like argument that you can find, that's when you tend to look ignorant, the most ignorant. It's like sometimes some things are not that complicated. And when it comes to understanding politics, like this is America is how ever old, 300-400 years old, like it has a history of politics. And if you understand the origins of something, you can kind of understand or get a better foundation of where we're at today. But if you just look at politics when you were born till now, you're missing a lot of context. But this is something that you should already know. But when it comes to Tim Pool, like he's trying so hard to outsmart everybody, you look stupid. But let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
There are arguments, of course, the Republicans, that just works for them because there are issues like what you mentioned, which is not untrue, where it's so easy for them to go, well, they did this, so we're going to do it 5 times worse. And then they do. But there are some like that. But there's one that has no fuzz on it, and that's elections. When Democrats lose elections, it's over the next day. Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton.
Not Hillary Clinton.
Not
Al Gore.
Al Gore that was not Al Gore doing that. That election was obviously decided by 537 votes. There was an absolute, when it's that close, there should be a recount. And whether that recount went the right way, we'll never know because that state was run by Catherine Harris and Jeb Bush.
There's a sorry to interrupt, but there's a really good, I guess.
And here is a solid piece of information. Trump still declines the results of the 2020 election, but the 2024 elections margins were a lot thinner than it was in 2020. And he says 2020 was rigged day and night. From beginning to end, it was all rigged. But the margins that he won in 2024 were a lot thinner. So where's this whole rigging? Where's this whole people are cheating? Oh, it only applies when you Republicans lose. Okay, got you. Okay.
Fair. I don't know if you call it a philosophical point that I've noticed that I think you're experiencing right now is I'm 39. So you lived through a lot of these administrations and these political cycles.
Yeah.
And you have experiences that I don't even know they exist.
Yeah, but
So-
you know what? I didn't live through Lincoln, but I know about it.
Sure. My point is,
Did he just really? He just really said, "You lived through a lot of experiences that I don't know about." Okay, why are we pretending that information isn't available to us? We have books, we have articles, we have video of people who lived 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago that could tell you firsthand experience of whatever that you're talking about. Like this thing right here. Tim, what are we doing? You lived through experiences that I know nothing about. If people listen to this guy, let's run that back.
and these political cycles.
Yeah.
And you have experiences that I don't even know they exist.
Yeah, but
So-
you know what? I didn't live through Lincoln, but I know about it.
Sure. My point is, my experience.
He said, I'm about to die laughing here. He said, sure. What? I know what's going on, or what has been going on over in Israel and Gaza, and I'd never been over there. You know how I know this? Books, information, articles, people's firsthand experience, journalists. What are we doing here? Tim Pool, I think that beanie might be a little too tight or something, but that was ridiculous. Just pack up, zip up your hoodie, go back home. You're done after that. If Bill Maher can get you on something stupid like that, done.
In politics has been the Democrats have challenged more than Republicans. To be fair,
Have
Trump
challenged the court?
challenged the elections more than the Republicans have, in extreme ways.
That's ridiculous.
So, but perhaps because you're older than me and you've seen more than I have.
Again, there are history books, there's newspapers.
I know.
You don't know something only because you lived through it. I know about the French Revolution also.
My point is,
I mean, you could know about this.
Indeed.
This is something that people your age say all the time, and I've made fun of it before. Like if I wasn't alive for it, it didn't happen. I don't have to know about it.
But that's
no,
not what I'm saying.
Okay, but
I'm saying that
That's literally what he is saying. I don't know about your experiences, and you're a lot older than me. I'm only 38 years old, so I'm only going to take politics from my point of view. What? So you don't want to take account of all American politics, even foreign affairs, because that plays a major part to it too? But no, you're just going to take account of what happened when you were born till now. Oh, because that suits your talking points.
that in 2016, I didn't vote for either Trump or Hillary, and then I got 3 years of Trump as working for the Russians.
he was not working for the Russians.
Jonathan Chait went on MSNBC and
Okay, and once again, they're going to get into this whole Russian thing, which, to be honest, hey, guess what? I don't care no more. Like, there's really nothing relevant. You might be able to find some sort of conversation to where it's relevant in today's conversations, but to be honest, I don't care. Okay, this guy Tim Pool, which, to be honest, I probably seen a handful of his shows, especially when like Emma went on there, or Sam Cedar, or when other people are talking about this idiot. But I'm glad. I am so glad I am not wasting my time listening to an idiot like that. That's simple. But once again, I apologize. My allergies is kicking my butt right now. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Blue Sky link in the description down below so we can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me, brush it off. pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.